Scorpions, a young adult novel penned by acclaimed children's author Walter Dean Myers, delves into the journey of adolescence against the backdrop of Harlem, New York City. Drawing from Myers's own upbringing in the historically African-American neighborhood, the narrative navigates themes of camaraderie, identity, and the harsh realities of inner-city life. At its core is Jamal Hicks, a 12-year-old facing a pivotal decision, whether to fill the void left by his incarcerated brother and lead the Scorpions, a gang of young drug dealers. Amidst the perils of poverty, violence, and discrimination, Jamal grapples with the consequences of his choices, striving to carve a path towards a brighter future. Initially published by Harper Row in 1988, Scorpions swiftly garnered acclaim, earning recognition as a Newbery Award honor book. It stands as one of over 100 literary contributions by Myers, celebrated with accolades such as the Margaret Edward Award and a stint as the National Ambassador for Children's Literature. Set in the 1980s, amidst a predominantly African-American community, the novel employs a third-person limited perspective, offering insight into Jamal's world as he navigates familial complexities alongside societal pressures. With his mother, Mama, and younger sister, Sassy, Jamal contends with an absent father while striving to navigate the turbulent streets of Harlem, ultimately painting a poignant portrait of resilience and hope amidst adversity. The family once resided together, but Jevon's battle with alcoholism, triggered by job loss, led to him mistreating Mama, prompting her to flee with the children. It's hinted that Randy, Jamal's elder brother, assumed the role of patriarch thereafter. With Randy now incarcerated for a violent offense, Jamal feels the weight of familial responsibility on his young shoulders. While he dutifully assists with household chores and cares for his sister, Sassy, Jamal yearns to contribute financially. Mama, though loving and resilient, grapples with exhaustion and financial strain exacerbated by Randy's situation. She pins hope on raising funds to appeal his case, but the required sum surpasses her means, compounded by a callous employer's refusal to assist. Beset by familial turmoil and schoolyard torment from Dwayne, Jamal faces bleak prospects at school, dismissed by the principal as destined for delinquency. Amidst this turmoil, Jamal finds solace in his artistic pursuits and his bond with Tito, a close friend whose Puerto Rican heritage belies his Harlem residency with his grandmother, Abuela. Tito, characterized by his thoughtfulness, sensitivity, and occasional apprehension, stands steadfastly by Jamal's side through thick and thin, even when Jamal's choices diverge from Tito's own convictions, such as his involvement with the local gang, the Scorpions. Prior to Randy's incarceration, he led the gang, orchestrating their drug operations for monetary gain. To evade severe legal consequences, all members of the gang must remain under 18. Randy, passing the mantle to Jamal through his second-in-command, Mack, entrusts him with leadership responsibilities, backed by the provision of a firearm to assert authority. Initially disinterested in both assuming leadership within the Scorpions and aiding his brother's legal plight due to Randy's strain on their family, Jamal's perspective shifts witnessing his mother's anguish and her futile attempts to fund Randy's appeal. Seduced by the prospect of quick cash and weary of Dwayne's bullying, Jamal contemplates the gang's offer, seeing it as a means of financial security and empowerment. Despite Tito's reservations, he reluctantly agrees to join Jamal, highlighting their unwavering camaraderie. Encountering skepticism and challenges to his authority within the gang, Jamal asserts his dominance, wielding the firearm to intimidate dissenters and assert his control. When faced with another altercation with Dwayne, Jamal resorts to brandishing the gun, leveraging its power to subdue his aggressor, albeit at the cost of escalating tensions. Struggling with the moral implications of his actions, Jamal confides in Tito, who reluctantly agrees to conceal the weapon, unwittingly embroiling himself in familial strife when discovered by his grandmother, Abuela. Despite the mounting consequences, Jamal hesitates to confront the responsibility of disposing of the gun. His attempt to pursue legitimate employment at a supermarket is thwarted by the interference of Indian and Angel, exacerbating his predicament. Randy's stabbing in prison and Mama's anguish as she visits him daily in the hospital compel Jamal to seek an exit from the gang. Devising a plan to relinquish leadership to Indian under Randy's purported directive, Jamal anticipates the impending confrontation, bracing himself for the inevitable violence as a means to sever ties with the gang. Accompanied by Tito, who clandestinely carries the firearm, Jamal arranges a midnight rendezvous with the Scorpions. However, their meeting descends into chaos as Indian and Angel launch a vicious attack with knives. In a desperate bid to defend Jamal, Tito resorts to gunfire, resulting in their assailant's incapacitation. Disposing of the weapon in the aftermath, Tito grapples with overwhelming remorse, haunted by the gravity of his actions. While Jamal initially harbors doubts about the outcome of Tito's intervention, subsequent revelations confirm the dire consequences of their encounter. With Angel dead and Indian apprehended for possession upon seeking medical attention, Mack seizes control of the Scorpions, exploiting the situation to bolster his reputation. Tito, profoundly affected by the ordeal, retreats into seclusion, succumbing to illness and emotional distress, despite Jamal's vigilant support. Ultimately, Tito confides in Abuela, divulging the truth of his involvement and accepting accountability for his actions. Encouraged by Abuela's guidance, Tito takes steps to amend his narrative, absolving Jamal of culpability as he approaches the authorities with his revised testimony. As the authorities recognize the victim's affiliation with the gang, they opt not to pursue charges against Tito. Granting him leniency as a juvenile offender, the police offer a deal: Tito must leave New York. Consequently, Tito and Abuela relocate to Puerto Rico, where Tito's father resides, leaving Jamal heartbroken at the loss of his closest companion. Meanwhile, changes unfold at school, with the principal seizing upon Jamal's minor infraction of missing homework as grounds to recommend enrollment in a specialized institution for troubled youth. While Mama advocates for a fresh start in North Carolina, Jamal resolutely insists on remaining in Harlem, despite the uncertainties that lie ahead. In the poignant conclusion of the narrative, Jamal bids farewell to Tito, grappling with the weight of unspoken apologies and unresolved emotions. Though he struggles to articulate his remorse for retaining the gun against Tito's advice, Jamal presents a portrait he crafted as a parting gesture. Initially hesitant, Tito eventually accepts the gift, symbolizing their enduring bond amidst the upheavals of change. With Tito's departure, Jamal embarks on a solitary journey toward an uncertain future, bearing the weight of his choices and the memories of their shared experiences. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.